is tabletop time.
Hey guys, this is Cody with World of Mini Warcrafts, and I'm sitting here with my buddies Nick over there and Mike. And yeah, let's get to know these guys and let you guys get to know me a little bit, and then we'll get to talking about some topics and whatnot. This is just kind of our kind of banter hangout. I mean, we all live together, we're roommates, so we kind of sit around and talking about all this stuff all the time anyway, and have all these like talks and debates and what have you on a kind of continual basis. And I thought it would just be fun to do it in front of a camera with a backdrop and like a table set up in front of us and make it look kind of official, and we'd talk about some topics that people ask and things like that. So yeah, let's get to know these guys. So Nick, tell us about you. Whatever you want to tell us. How old you are, how much you weigh.
I think I'll pass on how old I am and how much I weigh. I do play Tau, primarily in 40k, and I have a Wood Elf army in fantasy that I don't get to field nearly as much as I'd like to because there's not really a big fantasy league around here.
That's true.
I've been playing Tau, I want to say since the release in, 3rd edition?
I'm new to the game, so I don't know what
I upgraded late 4th, early 5th. And then I just got back into them again when 6th released, and they started to kick a lot of ass. So,
so for me, for someone who's new, I've only been doing this a couple months. What like year basis? We're in 2014 right now. That must have been like
holy Christ,
like 2003.
We'll say 90 something.
Yeah.
Oh really?
No,
not
actually, for the Tau, I want to say that was in early 2000s, like very early.
This is when you started.
This is when I started.
I think I started right around 2004.
Is when you started playing the game.
I actually got into Wood Elves before that. I got into Wood Elves back in 98, 99.
Hold on. So did you introduce the game to him?
No, I didn't even know him at the time.
Okay, so when you guys...
We actually met at Mike's store because he ran a store that sold this stuff, and I had come in looking for a good game of Warhammer, and this guy gave it to me. And that's how I met him.
Okay, alright. So you guys both... You didn't start playing until 2004. I mean, you started playing early 2000s, but when did you guys meet?
Oh, gee, that was, 3 or 4 years ago? 5 years
2008?
Longer than that.
It's right after I moved
2008,
to Washington. 2008 sounds about right.
I was a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
So, there we go. There's that.
I'll,
I said, I'm not discussing my age.
Okay. No,
Old enough.
Fine.
Old enough to be able to afford this hobby.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to put it. Hey, I'm only 23. I afford this. I choose to eat top ramen and spend all my money on this. But
You gotta have priorities.
some people are like, oh, college. I need to work my way through college. Me, I'm like, armies. I need to build me some armies. And
I need to work my way through the Necrons.
yeah.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
All right, so Nick, sorry, Mike. Mike, go ahead and tell us about your...
Well, all right.
background.
So I started out, like I said, right around 2004-ish. I worked in a mall up in Washington State as a security guard at the time. And we had a Games Workshop in the mall. It was actually pretty cool. I used to go in there and talk to those guys all the time. And they were like, hey, you should check this out. They know I liked games anyhow. So I came in and I originally got the, one of the box sets back then. I wanted to originally play Space Wolves. Space Wolves kind of sucked at the time, which was very disappointing. So I instead picked up regular Space Marines and Tyranids, as you see here.
And that was the box set. It came with Tyranids and Space Marines.
The Battle for Macragge box set. I had started playing before then, but I never had my own army until I picked up the Battle for Macragge itself. My buddy Pat up in Washington, he actually had several armies that we used to be able to play with.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, I picked up Tyranids and Space Marines. My little brother and I went in together on it. I said little, but he's not actually. And I chose the Tyranids. He decided he was going to do the Space Marines. He eventually opted out of the hobby later. He got into some other stuff. So I have the Space Marines sitting somewhere.
They're boxed up.
They're boxed up.
Yeah.
I don't play them that often, to be honest. I also got some Grey Knights here. I've Also played Tau and Necrons. I've played some Chaos, and
Mike
I have some
does
Imperial Guard as
have
well.
like a little bit of everything, almost everything. Not so much the variety of chapters.
Yeah.
Like you don't have like Black Templars, things like that so much, but you do have like
Kind of
as
a
far
fieldable
as
force of most
almost
of the codices,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, like you could probably do at least a 500-point battle of like Grey Knights, Tyranids, Imperial Guard, Necrons. You had Necrons before I got
Yeah.
Necrons and stuff. Yeah, you had a little bit of everything, but Tyranids are your main force.
Yep. Tyranids are my army for sure. The newest codex being out, it's actually not exactly what I expected it to be, but it's not entirely trash. So that's a bonus.
I do remember when we first you got the 6th edition rulebook for Christmas from Nick.
Yeah.
And as you were reading through it, you just kind of got pissed off, and you were like, "Fuck, now Tyranids suck. Like I don't even want to get the new codex, and this sucks." And then after
Overwatch.
I hate Overwatch.
Nick was like, "Oh yeah, Overwatch. I can find." Once we actually like played a few times in 6th edition, Mike was like, "You know what? I can do this. I can make this work. I can still be
relevant.
I could still be a deadly opponent."
It was great because our first battle was
the first game
one-on-one.
Yeah, the first game
battle.
I ever played of 40k ever was like 500 points apiece.
500
points of Tau, 500 points of Tyranids for Mike, and then 500 points of Necrons for me. And we split up the 6x6 table into like 3 quadrants with some neutral zones in the middle. And the Tyranids split off into 2 groups and went after the Tau and the Necrons. And the Tau and the Necrons never even met each other, and both got just desecrated by Tyranids. And
to be fair, I blame my defeats entirely on bad deep strike rolls.
Oh, I mean, how many times have I played you now where I've lost something major to deep strike?
I think
at least twice.
Monolith at least once. The
Night Scythe with the
Night Scythe
Lich
at
Guards.
least once with Lich Guard. Yeah, you have a tendency
that was,
to
of
crash
course,
into my
before they
units.
removed the deep strike rule on the Night Scythe.
On the Monolith.
Well, no, the Monolith still has the deep strike. It's the Night Scythe.
The Night Scythe can no longer deep strike.
Okay, no,
Night Scythe can no longer.
But it can be in
deep
reserves, but it comes in off the board.
It comes in off the board.
Right. But the Monolith used to do the thing you were telling me where like just came up out of the ground and it would just push shit to the side.
The Monolith here used to be like this guy is here, where when it pops out of the ground, it would either deviate to the
open area.
The closest it could be without being within an inch of something. The Monolith was actually a little better. It moved everything out of the way.
But it didn't destroy anything.
No.
Okay. It just popped up there.
It wasn't quite like the Moloch.
The
Moloch,
like,
surprise, I'm coming from
I'm
the ground.
here, I have 2 chances to destroy everything. If I don't destroy everything, I'll probably just go back into reserves and try again next round.
Yeah. Which is the ideal circumstance with the Moloch. You don't actually want to see him on the table.
Yeah, no, it's nice to be like, I want to pop up here. I got 2 chances to destroy everything. Oh, there's still a couple models I can't land. As long as I don't roll a 1, I just go back into reserves. Yep. I think there's actually like someone, if you roll 1, you're destroyed.
Yeah.
If you roll a 2 or a 3, then the people get to pick where it goes on the board for you, and then a 4 up, it goes back in reserves.
Yeah.
So either way, like even if someone places it on the table for you, it's not that bad. I mean, it could kind of screw you up.
Oh, you're gonna throw this monstrous creature right next to your guy? That's cool.
Or
you're gonna put it way over across the board for me? Not so bad. It'll just go back into ground.
Because I was gonna say it just burrows right back. All right, well, so I'm Cody, and my fiance Christina and I are the ones who kind of started this whole channel and started doing a World of Mini Warcrafts. It was kind of a thing that I talked about with these guys a while back about kind of like posting our miniatures that we paint online and just all for fun. Like, we're not really looking to make money out of it or anything like that. We're just, we're hobbyists. We enjoy it, and we like talking about it with other people and commenting posts and doing feeds with other people of similar interests. And it's always nice to hear other people's commentary on and opposing opinions and things. But basically the way it started for me is, in high school I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and started out getting miniatures off of like Reaper and so forth, painting pewter minis for that. And of course it started out just horrible. And I did a little bit of like Games Workshop stuff, like the Lord of the Rings stuff with my friends. And again, we used those models, I think, mostly for D&D. Like I ran like a Legolas mini or like an Aragorn mini like for the longest time as one of my characters. But anyway, and then these guys, when I moved in with them, we met at the local game store, Leisure Time Games, which you've already seen the thing for it at the beginning of this video probably, because I always have their things in the front of the video. But we met at Leisure Time Games playing Dungeons and Dragons. Essentially what happened is this past Christmas, we had a ridiculously huge Christmas. We all got each other like 10 gifts per person, so each one of us spent like $800 or something ridiculous.
It's pretty awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
First Riptide.
He got a Riptide. I started my first Necrons ever is this group right up here. I got from Nick one Overlord,
Yeah.
with the Resurrection Orb and Staff of Light. I got from Mike the unit of 12 warriors. I also got from Nick a Night Scythe, and then I got from you the Codex.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the Necron Codex. And what had happened is like they were showing me like, oh, you like playing models? Well, check out this. You could do it on a large scale with like armies and this and that. And there's also a really fun game to play. It's completely different from D&D, but one of the things I love about 40K is there still is fluff and kind of role playing and things like that you can do in it. So, and that's one of the big things that I love with any game. And so from that point, they basically introduced me to this addiction that now they hardly see me because I'm always working on battle reports or playing the game with someone or working on minis or something.
It is kind of tragedy.
I'm sorry. I love this game so much. Yeah, I Christmas more. We talked about it for like a few weeks before Christmas about 40K and maybe getting into it. And I was like, I really like the Necrons. And they, for Christmas, were like, oh, open these up. And I got the Codex and some Warriors and an Overlord. And, actually, I started painting, rather. And I had this idea. It was really funny because I had this idea for painting the Necrons red. And as we all know, the Necrons are normally the green with the metallic. That's always on the cover. And they come with the little, like, sticks, the power cells that are always green. And I actually tried, like, several people, some friends of mine up at another shop up north of the local town.
Told him he was crazy.
Yeah, they were like, you can't do it a different color scheme. That's not going to work. It's going to be dumb and blah, blah, blah. I was like, no. I want to lay down, like, base coat red and, like, make them, yeah.
It looks really good on the table.
And it turned out decent. I'm happy with it. I did the whole red theme, and I did like kind of electrical, which that, again, was input from Mike and Nick. Like, I was looking at it like, this is good. But like I don't know how to make it get this glowing effect and blah blah blah. And Mike and Nick were the ones that were like, try this electrical effect. Do the inlay of multiple lines and like you'll get the glowing electrical. And they both were showing me videos, and I was still kind of skeptical. Every time they show me something, I'm skeptical of like, I don't know, and I end up doing it. Perfect example, the table. When I first got done with the table, they were like, it needs more flock and the rocks are too dark. And I was like, I like it like this. I'm going to keep it like this. Well, 3 weeks has gone by, and finally today I was like, you know what? The rocks are too dark, and it needs more flock. And I put the flock on it and lightened up the rocks exactly as they said, and I love it. Every time, they always have my best interest in heart.
We've been around for a little while.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't remind us of that, though.